film, I think.
Didn't have tutorial.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Still waiting for 2, but we've started anyway. So fine, obviously. Okay, today the guest lecture, I have received some feedback already about this from a few students, including the one in this room. What do you think of the lecture in general?
It's
The lecture enjoyable.
Yeah. It's
You'll be responsible for your words, guys, later on.
Okay. What else?
very related to our major.
Every
Okay. Okay.
Have some special communication with us, use the social creative. This thing. Social creative. Like he used he used that thing. That's called question. We answer the question from the computer, our PC.
social active.
Social what?
The method we interactive.
The title.
So
就
那个网站名。
沟通方式嘛，就。
So
I understand, guys. I understand.
so creative.
So creative.
Also creative.
Okay.
Excellent present performance. I mean the presentation.
Okay.
I think outline and context doesn't match. I could some difficulty to follow the presentation.
So what's the problem with the outline?
He separated 3 parts, but I couldn't follow 3 parts.
Okay.
There is more parts than 3.
Sabotage too much.
Outline not much content. 3 parts, but not clear in presentation. Okay.
You don't use side notes.
Okay. Any other comments, guys? Before I start something.
I think presentation is not academic type of presentation.
Okay.
I am so negative
Some,
person.
Don't say negative. Okay, I'll write negative.
Good.
It's not academic.
some problem of the reference. No reference needs. And the reference format is the problem.
There are references. Are you sure he didn't provide a reference list?
Yeah, they're on.
Yeah, no, but it is.
Not the
The style.
Yeah.
style is the style is not Harvard. Not Harvard.
Excellent job. This is what I'm looking
Yeah.
for.
他也没有说什么。
Alright, what else?
他有说什么？
没有。
He gives some summary. Don't worry about it.
Without summary 是吧？没有总结是吧？
Very good. Summary in table 4.
Oh, at the beginning, he forgot to ask a question, ask the audience question. But after that,
He managed later on.
Yeah.
Definitely in a very creative way. He was so funny, guys. I felt very bad for you because he threw so many jokes while he was giving his presentation. The problem he was doing it in the British style. The British way of joking is they keep that straight face. You don't know that they are actually telling a joke. Yeah? You know the word straight face?
Straight face. Poker face.
No, very close to poker face. But what is meant by that is you don't see when they are they're making jokes. You cannot tell that they are, having fun. They keep the same straight, serious face when they're actually not serious. Yeah. Yeah. That's a little different from poker face, because poker face there's no emotions at all. That's like, emotionless face. That's a poker face. Okay. Let's get into more details here. Enjoyable. First of all, do you think it was enjoyable?
Yeah.
Everyone?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think that if another presenter was covering the same content, will it be exactly at the same level of enjoyment for you?
no.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
You might feel, do you think, with the same content, but different person, it might have been very, very boring?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I can tell. The content, in its essence, if you take all the flavors that he added to it, if you look at its ingredients, it's very, very dry. You know the word dry?
Yeah.
The ingredients are very dry. But he managed to cook it in a way to make it more, tasty, in a sense, knowing that people are hungry by this time. Yeah?
Yeah.
I'll come to this, to more details about this. But what made it enjoyable, guys?
He makes some jokes. I'm a caveman, and he says sometimes I send my cave pictures, something like that.
Okay.
Always. Yeah.
The idea of caveman that he kept repeating again
Yeah.
and again and again.
And also he used Socrates, and this makes me happy. I enjoy it when I answer a question.
Interactive content. He always, whether we have noticed it or not, it wasn't only Socrative. Of course, Socrative was a very excellent technique that he used.
Yeah.
That's absolutely the point, and absolutely the case. But whether we have noticed it or not, he was always interacting with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was always relating the information to us speaking about him, born before the 1980s, and you, born later on, yeah? You being native, whatever thing they said, digital natives, and him being more of a digital immigrant. I mean, even the idea of digital natives and digital immigrants as a title for a presentation, with that image that he creates in your mind, he started very well. You know, with creating that image in our minds. Naturally speaking, there's a lot of studies saying that we like images, guys. We like even to think in images. Yeah? So, he in that sense, he managed very well. Even the picture he have used, you know, made even the content more. Of course, you don't need to use, you know, pictures to match your content, but he managed to grab your attention quite early in the presentation. Okay, he didn't leave you behind. There's a lot of lecturers who would talk as if there's only 2 or 3 people that they are talking to and forget about the rest people. But he always tries to engage everyone, whether that's by eye contact, whether that's by selecting, even when he asked a question, he was selecting people from different corners of the room to make you even feel, you know, more engaged.
Yeah.
When an answer comes from your side, you feel like, excellent, this is my side giving the answer. Of course, that was a small thing, but a few techniques that people can pay attention to. His eye contact, and I've mentioned this to a lot of you in your presentation, wasn't limited to a few people.
No.
Yeah? He was looking at everyone, almost everyone. Yeah? I don't think there's a single person in that lecture hall who did not have an actual eye contact with him. Yeah? Now, I mentioned this to a lot of you in your feedback. When you gave your presentation, a lot of you were standing, as I mentioned possibly to some of you, were standing here talking about their slides and talking to those people in this sort of section of the class, forgetting about everyone else. Yeah? So, this is in relation to that, if that makes sense. Okay? Relevant to our major. He managed to do that. There's a lot of thinking behind what he gave, so it feels relevant. Guys, it doesn't come naturally. There is no content that is relevant if you don't make it relevant. Yeah? In a presentation, there's no content that is relevant if you yourself don't make it relevant. Okay? So there's a lot of thinking behind that to make it relevant, to make you feel related, you know, to the content that is presented to you. Yeah? And this is the technology that disappears. You remember in week 1 or week 2 when we mentioned about the best technology is the technology that disappears? Oh, guys. Did you forget that?
No.
At least there's one who didn't forget that. Which is quite encouraging. The way he thought about making it relevant disappeared. But the effect of that, the effect of that was very clear. Clear pronunciation. Who said that? You mentioned that, Marlene. Tell us more. What do you mean by clear pronunciation?
His speed of speaking is
Easy.
appropriate.
Do we agree that was he too fast?
Some parts, especially in first part, I couldn't understand, and I am very worried actually about this. But after middle of the presentation, or I feel more good.
Okay. So you can catch up, you can follow him. Okay.
Yeah.
I think he was, if this is, if this is too slow, this is slow, this is good, this is fast. He definitely was somewhere here. The good close to being fast. Yeah? But he was still within, of course, you can tell, it's not my judgment, you can tell from the responses of the audience that the majority, at least the majority, were following what he was talking about. Yeah? So clear pronunciation, one side of it was the speed. It was sort of just right to the level of the audience. What else?
He's native.
Stress. He made, what matters very clear, that it is the important things that we need to listen to. Yeah? And intonation. I mean, you can just enjoy listening to his voice going up and down, expressing ideas, throwing jokes here and there. Yeah? The way he used his voice, manipulated his voice, was very professional. Okay, good communication skills with the audience.
I think he remembered what audience said. Like Zina said, he remembered it, and I said native speaker, and he could remember.
Exactly. He valued everything that came from the audience. Yeah, he always kept going back to it and linking things together. What I want even better from that is linking things together. He was very successful in presenting the presentation as one unit. I didn't feel like, what's the place of this thing here? I cannot see that. No, it was very much, linked and connected to each other and presented. They say in English, as an organic unit. Anyone knows what that means?
Okay.
Other than onions being organic, or banana being organic. What does organic mean?
Integrated.
Functioning together in a very organic way, in a very how can I say? The problem is I'm stuck now with the word organic. Like a living organism, I'm using now. Like a living being, every part functions, contributes to the well-being of the person or of the fruit or whatever. Every part plays an essential role. You cannot take the peel out of the banana, because then obviously you'll not be able to eat banana without being protected by the peel itself. That's what I mean by organic, guys. I'm trying to simplify things, possibly oversimplify things. But organic or wholesome, they say sometimes. What is wholesome?
Wholesome. Yeah. 整齐.
It means organic. Well, what does organic mean again? It means wholesome. Wholesome means every part is beneficial. Yeah? There's no things that have no value. Everything, we have wholesome food. Have you heard of this before, guys? I'm worried about your diet now. You haven't heard of wholesome food? Okay. Wholesome. Jason, you should be the person. I don't know why, but you should be the person to know this. Wholesome means very healthy, meaning everything is beneficial in that food. Yeah, useful food. Alright, clear pronunciation, good communication skills with the audience, excellent presentation performance. Who said that?
All of this.
Because of all of that. Any additional comments on his performance as a presenter?
He used, I think, as a technique, he used two computers. One of them computer probably he has his notes, and sometimes he looks his notes and remembers what he will say.
His notes
You watch
definitely...
American, yeah.
Sorry?
I say he noticed very clear. I didn't notice that.
Okay. You know, if somebody sees the details,
Yeah.
the very minute details, have you heard of this, guys? How do you pronounce this?
Minute detail.
Minute if you want to refer to 60 seconds,
Minute.
but if you want to refer to something that is very small, you pronounce it as minute.
Minute.
Minute details, that means very small details. Yeah? So if somebody can observe, can see very minute details, say that she or he has got an eagle eye. You heard of this?
Yeah.
A person with an eagle eye, they can see the little things
Yeah.
that, you know, not everyone can really pay attention to. Okay? Or with a person with an eagle eye. Meaning very sharp observation. They can see the little. See again, you can say little details, but the level of the language is not as high as if you use minute, minute details. Again, referring to the level of language that we can use in our discussion or presentation skills. Okay? But please don't use it and say minute details, because then I will be banging my head against the wall. Okay. Excellent presentation performance. Yes, the notes were definitely used to support rather than to hinder. You know hinder? Okay. Obstruct, to stand in the way of somebody. This is where it can. It's the opposite of support or facilitate. Yeah, that's when something hinders your performance. It stands in your way. It tries to obstruct you. The opposite of facilitate or support is to hinder the performance. So the notes were not distracting him from the audience, which happened sadly previously here in the same exact place where I'm standing at the moment, where a few people were just reading from their notes, whether that's on their notebooks, or whether that's on their phones, or whether that's reading just the slides. Please, guys, please remember this for the final presentation. Remember not to, attach yourself to your slides. Remember not, guys, not to attach yourself to your slides. So something like this, when you are giving your presentation, is obviously, if you continue doing this when you are giving your presentation, obviously it's not very good communication skills or presentation performance. Sorry? Can you use two computers? You can use 4 or 5 if you want, but not when you are giving a presentation. No, obviously. Yeah. You have got only your slides, and that's it. Okay. Very good summary in a table form. Guys, remember that the audience are getting to know these, sort of ideas for the first time. So please be merciful in treating them. Yeah. So remind them of what we covered or you covered in a summarized way every now and then. Yeah. Especially at the end of the presentation. It's absolutely not acceptable for the final presentation that people don't give a summary at the end of what they covered. Yeah? At the beginning we have an overview. You remember this?
Yeah.
At the beginning we have an overview or an outline. It's the same, okay? Whether you say an overview or an outline, it's exactly the same. But right at the end we need to have what?
Conclusion.
Summary and conclusion. Summary and conclusion. And both, they have to have their separate slide. I don't know if it was in this group or the other group, there was 2 or 3 students who did not have an individual slide, separate slide for overview. They just gave the outline orally. No, that's better than no outline at all, but obviously bad practice. Okay? So separate slide for the overview, for the outline, the points that you will cover. Yes?
So overview just equal to the outline.
It's exactly the same like outline. Yeah? Somebody, I don't know if it was in this group or the other group, used the word catalogue, which obviously is not the word to use here. Rather than, it was either in this group or the other group, but they used catalogue rather than overview, which obviously is not the right word to use. Okay? Okay. Now it's working. Alright. He started with
Definition.
definition. Do you think if he forgot about the definition and he carried on giving his presentation, would you feel lost?
Yeah, we don't know what.
Absolutely.
What he said.
Believe me, if he just skipped that part, the entire presentation will sound differently. Yeah? Of just introducing the definition. What he means exactly by that. Alright? This is an online source, so if there is no date, what do we have to do, guys? If there's no date with the source where you've got your information from, what do we write? ND. You remember this? So for example, in this case, it's
应该有 access data.
Oxford English Dictionary, no date. But we have, even if it is an online source, with no date, we have to say that there was no date. Yeah? So we still have to say ND, which means no date. Yeah? Especially people who use dictionaries and Wikipedia, those 2 sources have the biggest problems with dates. Dictionaries and online dictionaries and Wikipedia. The others, you should not have big problems, normally speaking. They will provide you with a date. Yeah? Is everything okay? What do you think of the visual, guys? What do you think of the diagram presented here?
Mm. It's very clear.
Organized.
Very clear,
Yeah.
organized, brief, easy to look at and enjoy and read and get the idea. This thing, guys, did not come just like that. I can see if he hadn't got it exactly as it was here, I can see that that took him possibly to get that exact idea no less than 40 minutes to an hour, no less than that, just to get that right. Yeah? So a lot of work has been put into creating that part, but it pays off. You know the word pays off?
Yeah.
Pays off.
Pays off means, although you have exerted a lot of efforts, but the result, was worth doing. Yeah. So it paid off because the audience, of course, enjoyed, looking at that and understanding the content of it. This is when something pays off. This is more of a spoken language, not very academic, but you will hear it around a lot. When something pays off, that means all the efforts that have been made into that thing was worthwhile. Okay. Digital tools. I think he skipped this time, this slide.
He showed.
The EAP toolkit, yeah. And also they will in these activities. Alright. He continued with the image of native speaker of the digital language. Yeah, that kind of play with language, because obviously there's no digital language, yeah, but he played with the language he presented to make the content even more enjoyable, yeah, because it stimulates your brain. You know what makes a presentation boring? It's when your brain is passive. You're just in the mode of receiving. You are just receptive rather than processing. So if he uses language like this, you need to process the image to understand what he means exactly. Yeah? Can you hear my accent as a foreigner in this digital land? That was a very nice metaphor, very nice image of people with accent in terms of using digital, digital in the digital land, basically. What does he mean by accent here?
Pronunciation.
Definitely not pronunciation here.
It's
Yeah.
using
Oh.
It's using
Okay, he used, sorry? Old.
Means we are young,
Yes. But what is meant by accent? Exactly. You are just revolving around the thing rather than getting into.
For example, they and me has different accent
Okay.
because our mother language is different,
Okay.
and when we speak English, we combine with our mother language, our voice,
Okay.
our letters,
Okay.
and this creates accent.
Great accent. Still, the influence of your mother tongue, in this case, your origin of not using technology is still clear on your performance when you're using technology. I mean, you can tell when, I believe every one of us have been around possibly an old person who was trying to use a smartphone, or especially an iPad. This is when disasters start. And you can see that there is accent, meaning there is the flow of the performance is obstructed. You know, when you have accent, you don't have, normally you don't have a flow, yeah, with your language. It's like when somebody new to a technology, you can see that their use is not smooth. There's no flow in what they're doing, yeah? Well, obviously you know how you use technology yourselves, and it's like just you racing against your nervous system. This is how quick you do things. It's like you are working even faster than your nervous system. But anyway, obviously this is not very encouraged in your final presentation. The same idea, look of the way of comparing things, yeah, which is obviously much more enjoyable, passive, active, serious, fun, you know, this kind of thing. And he managed to present only one word, and it's enough for us to get the idea, yeah. I once, one of my teachers, speaking about that, he said, please don't insult my intelligence, yeah. So if you give me that as 2 sentences, I can understand by giving me just one word. If you give me 2 sentences, you are insulting my intelligence. Yeah, I can understand. So in a sense, don't insult people's intelligence. So one word will be enough in that sense. Okay. Look at the word sophisticated knowledge and skills. Yeah. Look at the word fundamentally change. It just plays with your emotions. When you hear these kind of words, it's the manipulation of language to help your idea, to serve your idea. Yeah. So think about how you will describe your own ideas, what words you will use to describe your ideas. Again, very straightforward, but at the same time very enjoyable content. I mean, I can imagine myself doing that, and how many slides I would consume to present an idea similar to this. Yeah. While I would not be able, most likely, I would not be able to present it in as clear way as he managed to do it in one slide if I have went over 3 slides or 4 slides explaining the same thing. So there's a saying in English, more is less. Have you heard of this? More is less and less is more.
Yeah, that is more.
And more is less as well. More is less and less is more. Sometimes if you use less, words, you can deliver more content. And sometimes if you use more words, you deliver less content. Yeah, and that applies for a lot of things in life, not just language. More is less, and less is more. Okay. Can you see the variety of sources that he used? That tells you how much research. I mean, look at the different names. You can see the reference list at the end. Come on. For those who said that there was no reference list,
Yeah.
here comes the reference list.
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 sources which were presented, you know, they were integrated. They helped, you know, him to present very well structured, very coherent presentation.
One of them belongs himself, I think.
There's no harm in doing that. You can.
Modern as a reference for the future.
His referencing style was not excellent.
Yeah.
His referencing, especially if we're following Harvard.
Yeah.
Harvard. So I remember, guys, that when you move on to your own departments later on, your own schools, engineering schools, you'll be following different referencing style. But you are using Harvard now because it is the pre-sessional course, and the pre-sessional course comes under the School of Humanities. So you are using the style that is used in the School of Humanities. But once you're done with the School of Humanities and you're moving on to your schools of engineering, this is when you are using different styles. Okay. All right. So I can't blame him, obviously, because he comes from different school. Yeah.
Different.就是以前读书在哪学？
Guys, a lot of things are happening here in this table. A lot of content. You cannot believe how much content have been squeezed into this little space, and very organized and very well connected. Yeah? So using tables is one of the techniques that we can make use of in designing our slides to reduce the content and make it even more connected to each other in this way. First of all, no evidence, true, comparable, very attractive, and so on and so forth. Very organized, very short, very easy on the eye. Yeah. Than possibly a lot of other ways to do it. Okay. What is a word that people would use normally rather than assigning? Of course, which is lower in the level of language.
Distribute.
Classifying. This is not even classifying here. It doesn't mean classifying.
Distribute.
Distribute. It's close to distribute, but people normally, when they are students, they prefer to use the very common, of course, word, which is giving.
Yeah, giving.
Giving general characteristics to groups of people. Now you can see how giving has been taken up to assigning. Yeah, giving is very everyday language. Yeah. If you go to assigning, it's definitely not everyday language. This is what we need in academic, in the academic context. What's wrong here, guys? Actually, there's a couple of things. Not massively wrong, but there's very small things. Mainly two things. The reference, what's wrong with it?
It's quotation.
It's a bit confusing.
Yeah, because it's feel like there is 3 differences, but no, 2.
But why two? The question.
Yeah, but
Why two? There's 3, but actually there's 2, but why 2?
I think moral panic belong Bennett and Maton and
He's using the words of the author, the exact words, so he needs to provide what, guys?
oh, maybe if this is second reference,
Even then,
he must mention.
he has to provide us with the page number, first of all, because he's using a quotation.
Quotation, yeah.
So we need to see the page number. And if he is using a second reference, then he has to say what?
First references and then.
Prensky cited in Bennett, Machen, and Kirwan, you know. If that was a second reference, but I don't know if it was a second reference or not. Anyways, it wasn't done correctly, or accurately, just to be more specific. Again, he's using quotation with no page number. And he's using a full sentence. If you're using a full sentence, then we need what? A full stop. If you are using a full sentence, but if you're not using a full sentence, then obviously there's no need for a full stop.
Yeah.
You can just leave it open. But this one is a full sentence, so we need a full stop. Am I making sense?
Full stop means sport. Yeah. Yeah.
Not exactly that, but yeah. Anyway. Again, expressing a complicated idea in a easy to follow way. Digital visitors, digital residents, this is a continuum. You know, people can fall anywhere on this continuum. It might be here, it might be there. Okay. It might be here, it might be there. It depends on where you fall on the continuum. What do you think of the photo? We will finish with this. Thank you. Interesting. Good look.
Try to make the idea clear.
It just expresses the idea in one picture.
Yeah.
Even before he starts telling me what is technological determinism, I can tell what he means from the picture. So this is an excellent example of how visuals or pictures can help you, can serve your purpose. Yeah? Any questions, guys?
Can we use this kind of style in our final
What do you mean by this kind of?
pictures, something?
Of course you can use pictures, sure. But it's not, it's used to help. They're not the focus, they're not the main thing. They're not what you are presenting for us. Yeah? Except if you are, I once dealt with fashion students. And of course you can't avoid pictures with fashion students, but obviously that's not the case in your presentation. Just use your common sense, guys. Of course, use pictures to help you support your point, but they are not the main. Was it here in this group where people used pictures only once? It was in this group, yeah, guys. somebody, we're not gonna mention, where people had just pictures.
The first problem.
Okay. Of course, that's not
Only.
what good practice will be. Okay, guys, then, thank you very much. I will give you your feedback for discussion, printed out on Thursday.
Okay.
With the list. Yes. Discussion last week. Yes, I know, but I'll give you the
Feedback.
okay, on Thursday. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.